Hello, it's another beautiful Sunday evening, day number 22 in the month of September 2024. Good evening and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goil PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. If you want to have a grasp of all that transpired in the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to see all that happened here on the show tonight. Indeed, we are streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are streaming live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are streaming live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port. Now, we shall be getting interactive with you, and all you have to do is sit back, relax, and grab your phones and send us some messages and comments via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is 0538-037353. 0538-037353. Now, when the time is ripe and I pick signals from the production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, welcome back. We are now going to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. And indeed, in the course of the week, the Ghana Revenue Authority launched the Frontline Training and ICT Center to boost service excellence. And indeed, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA was also just last night adjudged Legacy Port and Logistics Brand of all time at the 11th Made in Ghana Awards, plus the fact that various freight forwarding associations are scheduled to demonstrate against shipping lines on Tuesday, September 24. These stories and more. Enjoy.
In keeping with the Ghana Revenue Authority's strategic plan to boost revenue generation and voluntary tax compliance through digital adoption and excellent customer service delivery, the authority has launched a 3-day training program for its frontline staff with support from international partners such as the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Organization, the United Nations Development Programme, and the German Development Bank. The initiative forms part of GRA's broader efforts to modernize its operations and improve public engagement. Over 800 GRA frontline staff are scheduled to benefit from the training program for the next 7 weeks. This coincided with the commissioning of the authority's ultra-modern IT training center, where the training will be held. This €5 million facility, financed by the German Development Bank, will be used for training in information communication technology and emerging digital skills for staff of the GRA. It includes 7 20-person capacity lecture rooms, 3 10-person capacity meeting rooms, a 40-person capacity canteen, a 40-capacity car park, and administration offices. The Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Alex Ampabeng, commended the GRA for its strides towards achieving service excellence.
In the last few years, as an authority and a government, we have implemented a number of key reforms to enhance taxpayer experience. The key being the online filing, the Ghana.gov platforms, the ICOMs, and what have you. In our quest to enhance service delivery, we have sought and secured support from key partners such as the World Bank in the PFM for Service Delivery project. Again, this is geared towards enhancing taxpayer experience.
In a speech read on his behalf, Board Chairman of GRA, Joe Gatti, highlighted the GRA's commitment to adopting a customer-centric approach to tax administration and emphasized the critical role frontline staff play in shaping the public's perception of the authority. The Commissioner General of the GRA, Julie Esiam, said the authority is focused on achieving its revenue target of 145.9 billion Ghana cedis for 2024, while ensuring taxpayers are treated with the highest level of professionalism.
This training is a cornerstone of our ongoing efforts, anchored firmly in our vision to change the face of the GRA by adopting a collaborative approach in our engagements with our taxpayers, and Elom alluded to that. This initiative is not only about imparting knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, it is about embedding a culture of excellence that will sound, heavily sound, loud sound through every layer of the GRA. Because the effectiveness of our tax system hinges on the trust and satisfaction of those that we serve.
The authority's development partners reassured the GRA of their continued commitment to collaborating with them towards a shared objective.
What we've been doing over the period, strengthening the institution of GRA is one, improving revenue yield is another, and then supporting the enablers is another. And one of the key enablers areas we support is the customer experience unit, and I think that's the reason why we are here today.
This facility will be a critical infrastructure for the automation of GRA business processes. In addition to the construction and equipping of the IT training center, Germany is supporting the GRA to develop an IT training organization and courses for decentralized computer-based IT trainings that can be delivered to staff of the GRA in the districts and regions to reduce training costs.
UNDP remains fully committed to supporting Ghana in its efforts to enhance domestic revenue mobilization in alignment with the Sustainable Development Goals. This training is just one step in a broader effort to create a fairer, more efficient tax system that serves all Ghanaians.
The basic cocoa freight rate for the 2024-2025 cocoa season has been increased by 5%. This follows the successful conclusion of negotiations by the Cocoa Marketing Company, Ghana Shippers Authority, and 17 shipping lines involved in Ghana's cocoa trade. However, the bunker fuel adjustment factor remains the same as last year. The new rates, based on last year's negotiations, will come into effect on 1st October 2024. This agreement provides stability for Ghana's cocoa export sector, which is crucial to the nation's economy. The primary factors influencing the increment were global market conditions impacting shipping and logistics worldwide. Additionally, maintaining competitive freight rates for Ghana's cocoa, particularly in light of increasing competition from neighboring countries, was a key consideration. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Kwesi Bafo Sapon, expressed his gratitude to the shipping lines for their ongoing partnership with Ghana. He commended them for their vital role in facilitating international trade, acting as trusted intermediaries between the Cocoa Marketing Company and global buyers. Several conditions of shipment have been maintained to ensure smooth operations for the 2024-2025 cocoa season. Shipping lines will continue to provide dressing materials, position empty containers at cocoa stuffing areas, and bear lift-on costs. Meanwhile, the Cocoa Marketing Company will handle the dressing and stuffing of containers, the delivery of full containers to specified locations, and the fogging of both empty and loaded containers. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has been adjudged the legacy port and logistics brand of all time at the 11th Made in Ghana Awards. The award is in recognition for being a fully Ghanaian-owned ports and harbours service brand, one of the best and high-yielding ports in the sub-region, with the major hallmarks of successes that continue to drive the total quality service delivery. The 2023 Made in Ghana Awards is an initiative of the Entrepreneurs Foundation of Ghana, aimed at celebrating companies and individuals for demonstrating overall product and service quality, competitiveness, and innovation, offering a point of difference from competitors. In all, over 30 companies and individuals were recognized for their immense contribution to the Ghanaian economy. The founder of Entrepreneurs Foundation Ghana, Sam Atugezi, said the key objective of the awards is a campaign to provide a platform for Ghanaian consumers to patronize Ghanaian-owned products and service industries and encourage Ghanaian service industries to make significant improvement in service quality, delivery, and innovation to meet challenges of international standards.
So we took it upon ourselves that some of the companies that are doing very well, that started years back, we think we need to recognize them. That is how we had the legacy, because Ports and Harbour Organization or Authority is something that is going to be sustained in this country forever.
Key players in the logistics and trade sectors say they will embark on a massive protest against shipping lines operating in the country on Tuesday, September 24, 2024. The Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, the Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, Freight Forwarders Association of Ghana, and the Customs Brokers Association of Ghana, in collaboration with several trade associations and concerned stakeholders, will lead a peaceful demonstration to bring urgent attention to what they term as exploitative practices by shipping lines operating within the country. In a press release jointly signed by the leadership of the various associations, they aver that the protest is to make known their concerns on a range of issues they believe are negatively impacting the cost of doing business in Ghana. Chief among their complaints is the imposition of arbitrary charges such as local administrative fees, container cleaning fees, and empty container fees. The protest organizers are making the following demands. 1. Abolishing demurrage charges on weekends and public holidays, and a refund to businesses for demurrage fees paid during those periods. 2. compel shipping lines to negotiate tariffs in accordance with Regulation 5 of the Ghana Shippers Authority Regulations 2012 LI 2190. 3. Eliminate arbitrary fees, including local administrative charges, container cleaning fees, and empty container fees. 4. Ensure that shipping lines provide 24-hour services throughout the week, including weekends and public holidays, to avoid unnecessary delays. 5. Stop shipping lines from engaging in customs house brokerage, which they claim disadvantages freight forwarders and stifles competition. 6. Prohibit the pegging of shipping line fees to the US dollar in line with Bank of Ghana regulations. The convergent point for the demonstration is the gift premises in Tema.
The leading oil marketing company in Ghana, Goil, has taken its latest marketing campaign to the streets of Accra with an exciting road carnival. Dubbed the Super Experience, the road carnival, which was organized by the Goil Southern Zonal team, aimed to promote Goil's regular fuel product, Super SP. The Goil team engaged with drivers along the principal streets of the city, distributing flyers and sharing key information about the benefits of using Super SP fuel. The event was part of the company's broader effort to boost awareness and encourage patronage of their high-quality fuel. Speaking at the event, Goil South Zonal Manager Helen Tremantin urged drivers to choose Super SP for enhanced engine performance and fuel efficiency, emphasizing the long-term benefits of using the product.
We have good news for our cherished customers. We are giving them choices. We have our regular fuel in town, which is affordable. This fuel is one of our top products. It has additives in it. It is not like other regular fuels that they don't have additives in it. We have SP3. So please, our cherished customers, drive to our various stations and fuel your vehicles.
Goil continues to lead the market with innovative ways to engage customers and provide top-tier fuel solutions.
So those were some happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. It's now time for us to take the word or phrase of the day. And remember, the word or phrase of the day has been fashioned to bring you up to speed with the terminologies and jargons we use in the shipping industry. Today's word is anchor. Anchor.
Anchor. Anchor refers to an object designed to prevent or slow the drift of a ship attached to the ship by a line or chain, typically a metal hook-like or plow-like object designed to grip the bottom under the body of water.
All right, welcome back. We are zooming into our discussion proper tonight, and tonight we are taking a look at the prospects of the cruise industry in our country, Ghana, and the roles that the ports can play to promote that. And so we've assembled a team who plays cardinal roles as far as the cruise industry is concerned in Ghana. First of all, I would like to introduce to us Mr. Eko Samson, who is the Deputy Chief Executive Officer Operations at the Ghana Tourism Authority. Good evening, sir.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Yes, sir. Also in the studios with us is Mr. Richmond Kweku Mfojo, who is the Operations Executive. He's an Operations Executive at OMA Group. Good evening, sir, and welcome.
Good evening, Ken.
Indeed, OMA is one of the shipping lines we have that's here in Ghana. We also have Mr. Mauli Jebu, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Land Tours Ghana. Good evening, sir, and welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. And last but not the least, Mr. Kwame Ansom, Chief Executive Officer, Sunseekers Tours Company. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
And welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, so before I start with you, Mr. Sampson, let me, I have some few statistics here, just perhaps to set the discussion in context. And that has to do with statistics we have for the global cruise industry and Africa as well. Now, it's as the Cruise Lines International Association, CLIA, has released its 2024 State of the Cruise Industry Report. Now, this year's report includes the release of 2023 passenger volume, which reached 31.7 million, surpassing 2019 by 7%. The report also shows continued demand for cruise holidays, noting intent to cruise at 82%. The forecast for cruise capacity shows an increase of 10% from 2024 through 2028 as cruise lines make ongoing concrete progress in pursuit of net zero emissions by 2050. Other highlights include a forecast for cruise capacity through 2028 and a summary of the 2024-2028 cruise order book, as well as the latest cruise trends, which include the number of new to cruise, which is increasing by 27% of cruisers over the past 2 years, and now to cruise, an increase of 12% over the past year. Cruises are a top choice for multi-generational travel, with more than 30% of families traveling by cruise with at least 2 generations and 28% of cruise travelers traveling with 3 to 5 generations. Expedition and exploration are the fastest growing sectors of cruise tourism, with a 71% increase in passengers traveling on expedition itineraries from 2019 through to 2023. Accessible tour excursions are on the rise, with 45% of cruise passengers booking an accessible tour for their most recent cruise. 73% of cruise travelers say that the travel advisors have a meaningful influence on their decision to cruise. Now we come to Africa. It is estimated that the revenue in cruises market in Africa will reach $277.10 million by 2024. The market is expected to grow at an annual growth rate of 10.48%, resulting in a projected market volume of $456 million by 2029. That's dollars. Now, the number of users in this sector is projected to reach 547.50 thousand users by 2029. And in 2024, user penetration is expected to be 0.02%, and it's expected to increase to 0.04% by 2029. The average revenue per user, that's ARPU, is expected to be 0.89K, that's $0.89,000. And it's expected that 20% of the total revenue in the cruise market sector will be generated through online sales by 2029. In comparison to other countries, the United States is expected to generate the most revenue in the cruise market, with a projected revenue of $24.7 million in 2024. Now, cruise tourism in West Africa remains relatively undeveloped compared to other regions. Ghana, for instance, does not have a dedicated cruise terminal, which presents both a challenge and an opportunity for growth in the sector. Now, despite this, the country has been receiving a few cruise vessels at its ports, mainly at Tema and Takoradi, through shipping agencies, which facilitates the arrival. Now, the Global Semester at Sea program, which brought the World Odyssey to Ghana, is a notable example of cruise tourism making inroads in the region. In West Africa, cruise itineraries often span from Cape Town to Lisbon or Dakar, with stops in ports like Tema. Now, these cruises offer visitors a blend of urban exploration, cultural experiences, and wildlife viewing, showcasing the rich heritage of West African coastal cities such as Accra, Elmina, and Lomé. Recent cruises have highlighted Ghana's historical landmarks, including Cape Coast Castle and Elmina Castle, enhancing its appeal as a cruise destination for travelers interested in history and culture. In terms of numbers, Ghana contributes a significant portion of the cruise tourism traffic in the region, although overall figures in West Africa remain modest when compared to other parts of the world. Adventure Live reports itineraries where Ghana features as one of the stops, illustrating the region's growing inclusion in the West Africa cruise schedules. Now, it goes on and on and on. And so, just to put the discussion in context, you saw the global perspectives, African perspective, and West Africa, and then Ghana as well. And it's crystal clear from this that we are, way down there. We're not doing well at all. From the Ghana Tourism Authority, what's your candid assessment of the state of our cruise industry in Ghana?
Thank you very much, Ken. As you rightly highlighted, The cruise tourism is new when it comes to West Africa, and especially even Ghana.
Yes.
And thanks to the work of land tours and then Sunseekers, now we are gradually getting there.
Yes.
We took special interest last year when we participated through Sea Trade Cruise Global Expo in Florida. And of course, that also set the framework for us to push hard and get to where we are heading towards. Because we have targeted 2 million tourist arrival by the year 2027. And so we need to bring everything that will help us to achieve this data. And as you rightly said, in Ghana, last year where we started taking records, Sunseekers, who actually provided us with a voluminous figure, was partly 9,500 and over.
Right.
And of course, I know land tours and then others were also trying to bring down the figures. But this year we are targeting almost 12,000. And I can tell you that by the up to June, we had about 8,154. And then we're expecting a lot more by the year, almost 5,000. And now that we have also participated in the first exhibition at the Sea Cruise Global, one of the biggest travel shows with 700 exhibitors and things like that, gradually we are pushing to get our name in the top of mind and then also get us rolling. And of course, it will also demand that we have to work together with other stakeholders to achieve that feat.
So what you're saying is that we are appreciating in terms of the numbers.
Exactly.
So. 9,000, you're expecting 12,000.
Yeah, just almost 12,000 by the year. But of course, I'm sure that by it will go much more, almost 14,000 by the close of the year.
Right. Okay, so let me come to you, Omar. Can you tell us how you're able to identify some of these vessels? What kind of collaboration goes into getting them or convincing them to come? And how are you able to land a job? And what are some of the things that you do in terms of operations to be able to facilitate the arrival here in the country?
Yeah, good
in
evening.
our ports, so to speak.
Good evening, Ken, and thanks for having us.
Yes.
I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate my boss, Gilbert Owusu, for giving the opportunity to step in his big shoes this evening.
Right.
I'm excited about this discussion because most often discussion has always been around the cargo-related activities of the port than the service as you're doing today, specifically about passengers. Yes, Omar Ghana is a shipping agency, not a shipping line, point of correction. Yeah, we are a shipping agency.
Yes.
So just as you rightly said, the logistical operation, I will look at it as on 3 phases. That's the pre-arrival, during the port call, and then departure.
Right.
So during the pre-arrival stage, there is active communication, planning, and then engagement with all stakeholders. We're talking about how do we get this business. You know, what goes into it is they have to sell Ghana as a destination to the passengers.
Right.
So they need to know what the facilities are available in the port. We also need to convince them that despite we don't have a dedicated terminal, we are able to deliver these services because there's expectation. Now, on arrival, as a port and a licensed the agency within the port environment, we have the opportunity to access the single window portal provided by GPHA. So the vessel is captured in the system. On arrival, marine operations goes on, arrival clearance goes on. You have coordination with the tour companies that are here. Mostly we do with land tours and Sunseekers as and when the time demands. And then you have departure formalities done, departure clearance as well. But what really goes on to secure this business is active communication, planning, convincing them that we have the experience, we have the operational know-how to handle these businesses. So that is what goes into it. And I will add that all this information goes in feeding the cruise line to market Ghana as a destination.
Right.
Because you need to convince a passenger, why should I board this vessel and come to Ghana, experience the environments, and then look at the tour sites. So the relevant information that goes to feed in for this cruise line to be able to plan the itinerary and be in Ghana.
All right. Awesome. Let me come to Mr. Jebu, land tours. Can you tell us your experience so far in terms of your work or activities in the cruise industry?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me
Yes.
here.
So we've been doing, actually this year will be 30 years that we'll be in business in November.
30 years?
Yes, November will be 30 years in business. And so we've been doing all kinds of tours, including cruises. But I'm glad that, just before, I just want to go back a bit, that this year or last year, the tourism board was able to come to the world's biggest cruise show.
The Tourism Authority. Okay.
Tourism Authority.
The one you mentioned in the US, okay.
It's called Sea Trade Global. This is where, I mean, I was there with him, and I think Kwame was there.
Okay.
There were 11,000 attendees.
Wow.
They had over 600 exhibitors. And then there were over 70 cruise branded lines, 70. Then, of course, 120 countries were represented. That's a big stage.
It is.
Okay. Our disappointment was that GPA wasn't there.
GPHA?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was our disappointment.
Maybe we were not invited.
Oh, you were invited.
We were invited.
We were invited. You have that conversation at that time. Because all of this is, you see, at the end of the day, when those big vessels come there, before they even talk to you and I, the first question they want to talk to is that they want to talk to the port authorities. Because they want to know, can our ship berth
We have the facilities here.
What I don't know what is the depth of the berth.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Yeah.
I was supposed to sell Cape Coast Castle, Cancun.
Yeah.
I can't be answering questions about. That's
Moli
where
and the rest,
you understand. So that's where we're expecting that the landlord will be there, and then we will be behind. But of course, hopefully it will be better, and it will come along.
When is the next one?
Next year, April 7th to 10th, in Miami.
Right.
All right. I'm not here to sell them, but I'm just here to. It's a good ground for all of us. Because that's where I went to one of the seminars they did last year. Now we have all kinds of electric cars. There are all kinds of electric ships that are coming. And one of the questions they were asking is that does your port have the facilities? I'm like, what are you talking about? Do you understand? But those are the kind of questions that the port authorities must answer and help us sell the country. And so we can do that. But so coming back to your question, I just wanted to set that in context. That's very, very important.
Absolutely.
I just want to set that in context. What was your question again?
Yes, what your experience have been.
Yes.
So it's been involvement in the industry.
In putting together, I remember the ship that you talked about, the world is a semester at sea. I recall that we had to start talking to them for close to 3-4 years. Wrote a long proposal, big pictures, and trying to tell them why you should come to Ghana. And they don't come to Ghana for 6 hours or 8 hours. They're here for 5 days. And they're one of the first that they do 2 ports. So they are in Accra, Tema for 3 days, and now they are doing Takoradi. They actually come in next month. They do Takoradi 3 days, and then they do. So you have a ship of at least 600 people that are here, and every day you have about 10 buses of 45 people per bus. That's 450 people going in different directions. Now just imagine.
So the passengers choose places of interest where they want to go.
Yes.
And so if there are 100 people that are interested in Elmina Castle, then they have their bus.
Yes.
If there are 200 people interested in Cape Coast Castle, they have their bus. If there are 150 people interested in far away Moli National Park.
You have people that go all the way to Kumasi, Cape Coast, Moli, and then they come down. You have people that go to Shy Hills, the Kosombo down, people. And then when the reason why the ship does 2 ports that one of the things that cruise companies don't really like is they don't like to travel too long traveling in a bus. So if you have to go to Cape Coast Castle from Tema, that's 4 hours. It could be 5 hours. So by the time when you come back, all they remember is the number of hours they spent.
They're exhausted.
They didn't even remember whether it was a good tour.
The fun they had.
So that's why the ship will dock in the port in Tema for 3 days so they can assess activities around this part of the country. And then they go to Takoradi. Then they can do the Kakums, the Zulenzus, and the likes. It's a lot of work.
Absolutely.
Planning. And Uma can tell you, and Kwame can tell you, where you are dealing with 15 coach operators. You are dealing with 15 tour guys. You are dealing with people like Oma. BNI is on your case. It's like, why are these people here? I'm like, seriously? And all of that. But it's a lot of work. But the most important thing is that even though he said that, and that's what we don't have the facilities, we are doing our best. But we need to push those facilities, and we can do better. If you look at the statistics, Senegal, one of the best 10 cruise destinations in Ghana, in in Africa. Senegal is like number 9. I mean, of course, the Cape Towns, the Walvis Bays, the Debans, the Casablancas are ahead. But they are making a serious effort towards promoting their tourism.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can do the same thing here. We just have to, bring it together. The GTA is working with port authorities. They are working with us. We're working with them. We're all coming together. It's like have a big goal and work towards it. And most importantly, keep it working, no matter who is in government.
Yeah.
We're not going to say January 7th, there's a new government thing, so we throw away all those things.
Change,
We'll never get there.
We're going to start from the scratch. Right. Let me come to Sunseekers and find out from you, Mr. Ansong. You heard the sentiments he expatiated. I mean, yes, there was one cardinal player that was missing in the scheme of things as far as the exhibition in the US was concerned. And I also alluded to the fact that yes, we don't have a cruise terminal here in Ghana, but you're doing your bit and your best to ensure that the industry thrives here through your collaboration with other players and all that. Let me find out from you as well how it's been for you. How's the journey been in terms of your quest to do business in the cruise industry? Are you thriving? Are we doing well? And what are the prospects for Mother Ghana?
Okay. Thank you very much, Ken. For Sunseekers, we've been doing cruises in Ghana for 25 years. Since 1999, the first cruise ship we brought in was Pacific Princess in April 1999. GPHA has been a partner to all of us, all the tour operators, as we go along GTA. But to put in perspective what my brother Mauli said, we need more from GPHA, basically, beyond facilitation. And I believe if you don't have a cooperative port authority, you can't even grow. But we started from maybe one port call. Prior to COVID, we were doing about maybe 10, 12 port calls a year. By 2023, we're back to that number. And we believe that before end of the year, we will do similar. But it's not just one company. What happens is that the beauty of this industry is that as leading companies grow, others also grow. The industry grows as a whole. So there's a need for us to have a complete, or should I say, 360 approach or strategy to promote cruises into Ghana. Now, one reality is that if the port doesn't get involved, or the port doesn't help, or doesn't play an active role, or prioritize cruise ship tourism, there's so much that we can do as tour operators. Because like Mauli said, they're going to ask, what can your port take? What's the draft of which berths? What happens if there is a manganese ship that's just finished loading manganese, and the manganese or bauxite scattered all over the berth? And you have a ship coming in at 0600 hours. What happens? Are they going to work overnight to clean up the berth and make sure that it's clean so that everybody comes in? So GPHA is very, very critical in this. Our journey has been rewarding in the sense that we started going to sea trade and doing I've been to different sea trades, not only the one in Miami. I've been to sea trade Med, I've been to sea trade Europe, I've been to all kinds of sea trades just to try and get a feel of what the market is like over the years. All these are pre-COVID. And I've come to realize that there are a few cardinal things that they look for who you call a DMC, destination management company, or a tour operator who handles, just like for the shipping agent, Oma, he has certain things they look for from the shipping agent. But for the tour operator, they look for certain key things, and we make sure that this is part of our service offering, and we excel at that. These include making sure that you have efficient services, you have quality products, and the products are called shore excursions, excursion options and the like to offer. And these go a long way to make sure that they are happy
Yes.
And I believe that if Ghana were to put in, not only to promote Ghana's ports, but like a pan-West African approach,
Yes.
like an ECOWAS approach,
Right.
it would go a long way. Because cruise ships go on a long itinerary, like you said.
Right.
They start from maybe Lisbon or maybe southern part of Spain, going all the way to maybe Cape Town or maybe Durban or somewhere like that to disembark. This 22-day cruise, you'll be surprised that majority by virtue of where they're positioned.
Before you continue, let me just announce that we are told that there's a football match that's coming off, and we have to go off for them to take it right after the football match. Iron Port is going to be aired, but we are still live on our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, still on Facebook, Port of Tema, and on YouTube, Iron Port. So that's the information we have. I think the communication... So you can send your messages to us, to our platforms. That's the Facebook and YouTube, and we'll be able to deal with them for you. Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Anson, please continue.
Yes. So I was saying that you could you could have much more by having a Pan-African approach. By virtue of position of Senegal, Gambia, and Cape Verde in the mid-Atlantic. In terms of cruise ship position, or should I say market, they call it the mid-Atlantic.
Yes.
We are southwest Atlantic. So mid-Atlantic has Cape Verde, the Canary Islands, Senegal, Gambia.
Yes.
Now they usually touch a tip of West Africa and then go down.
Yes.
It's cheaper for them to just cut across and go down. But if we're able to show them that there's more to see in West Africa, it's going to cost them maybe 10% more to divert this way. And so I believe that we should look at how maybe using both Ghana Ports and Harbours Authorities, so I think you might have an ECOWAS commission for ports, whether there can be a ECOWAS-wide plan.
Right.
We could be able to push through these things. And in the past, many years ago, I think around 2014, 2015, we tried to do something as private sector.
Right.
With ENAPO. ENAPO is Cape Verde's equivalent of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the ports and harbours of Senegal, and the like, through the two operators who we collaborate and the like. It was going somewhere, but of course, with political changes and stuff like that, it didn't happen. But ENAPO kept going.
Right.
ENAPO kept going. They kept their, and now you'll be surprised if you do your research how many port calls Cape Verde gets. And I don't think they have much more. No. They don't have any infrastructure. You see, infrastructure, it's really nice to have a cruise terminal, but very few people have cruise terminals. As we speak, if we had maybe a few dedicated berths where we're given priority, like maybe Gapua says, okay, you know what? Every time berths, I don't know the layout of the ports. Let's say maybe berth 4 and 6. It's for large cruise ships. Maybe 10 is for maybe small cruise ships. Same thing for Takoradi. Tema has that. What it means is that
makes it much more easier to market.
It makes not only that, but everybody in the port knows how Gapua is very well run.
Yeah.
So they know that at maybe 0600 hours, there's going to be at the pilot station a cruise ship coming to berth 5 or 6. So they'll pull out the ship, whether it's a wheat ship or sugar ship or pull it out, clinker ship or whatever, pull it out, and those are the ones that make the most dust and most nuisance, create the most nuisance. Pull them out, wash the PSI, and they've done that in the past. But I think because the frequency, I think the novelty is being lost. So we're losing that. We used to have a lot of prioritization. I mean, it was like a whole national assignment anytime a cruise ship was coming. But because of the frequency, we're losing that. But we cannot lose that. We need to rather now be gearing in more on that. Whether by accident or what, but most of the cruise ships are tending to go towards Takoradi. I think partly to do with the way Takoradi has positioned itself.
Okay.
So I think about 80% of the cruise ships go to Takoradi.
Is it because of the proximity in terms of?
I think that's also very key. That's also very key. You see, and you see, Ghana has certain advantages that we need to leverage on. We are one of the few ports in West Africa countries in West Africa which have 2 ports.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
With varying of complete different shore excursion options.
Sure.
Like Mauli said, nobody wants to travel 4 or 5 hours to go to an attraction.
Yeah.
You can do things around Tema port that are completely different towards the eastern part of Ghana and things from Takoradi to the west. Then we also have 2 new babies that have just been born.
Right.
Elmina Fishing Harbour offers you
Exactly.
a completely different
experience.
Yeah. And there again, we're not looking at deep sea ports, but we're looking at fishing harbours that allow us to break into a certain market we've never had, the small cruise ship industry.
Exactly.
You have the Jamestown Fishing Harbour.
Jamestown just opened also. Yeah. So even as a destination with GPHA, we can sell ourselves as a multi-port destination. If you go to sea trade, you see Port of Mombasa, and together with Kenya Tourism Board.
Yes.
You see Port of Cape Town, Port of Durban, Port Elizabeth. That is how they market.
Yeah.
So GPHA could be there.
Should be there.
Should be there.
Okay, should be there. Okay, I stand corrected. Should be there. And we have the ports of Ghana, together with Ghana Tourism Authority, and all of us there.
Right.
What that gives, it gives them that extra confidence to come in. And it also opens up Ghana. We've worked hard as Sunseekers to position Ghana as a turnaround port.
Right.
Senegal, by virtue of its positioning, has quite a lot of turnaround port business.
Right.
A turnaround port is a very critical marketing tool for a country as a cruise destination. Because what it shows as a turnaround port, people fly into your country and fly out. So the itinerary shows maybe 19 days starting from maybe Lisbon, ending up in Cape Town. So they board flights into Lisbon and then start going. What happens if you look at the itinerary? You see the turnaround ports have been highlighted. So Lisbon and Cape Town are highlighted. We've been able to do that for Tema.
Sure.
And we have quite a number of them that happen on the quiet. And it's a collaboration between GPHA making sure that we have that a multiplicity of services being offered.
Right.
And what it means is that instead of staying just one day in the port, they spending 2 or 3 days. We have a few of them lined up for 2025 coming back. Prior to COVID, we had quite a number of them that were happening. We even had, to the extent that we had charter flights coming in. We're bringing charter flights. We have some British ships. They come in, charter flights. They come. They spend the night in maybe some 5-star hotels. They have they drop revenue, and then we keep going.
Right.
So if we could even just position ourselves, just maybe a shed or 2 with seating.
Right.
Because one of the ports, one of the port calls we had this year, there were very bad winds this year. And because of the position, usually the cruise season is between about October and April.
Right.
October and April. Because
why is that?
Because ships are repositioning.
Right.
Ships are repositioning from the southern hemisphere, the northern hemisphere. If it's around April for the summer months, and the other way around. Once it's summer, it starts getting cold in the northern hemisphere. It starts positioning toward the southern hemisphere. So we have quite a lot of movements. But be it as it may, we have to position ourselves very well because whether we like it or not, the Suez Canal is currently closed. There are issues with the Houthi rebels in the Red Sea. So it's time for us to position ourselves.
All right.
And make sure that we take advantage of it.
Okay. From the look of things, you would realize that one challenge we have that is not inuring to our benefits in terms of the cruise industry is the lack of infrastructure, appropriate infrastructure, so to speak, dedicated, to promote the industry. As the Ghana Tourism Authority, what kind of collaborations have you instituted or initiated, so to speak, with stakeholders to be able to improve on infrastructure? That is, if you have plans
Yeah.
of enhancing or improving the cruise industry.
Yes, thank you very much. As has been highlighted, the cruise tourism is not one-man show. It involves a lot of stakeholders, multi-stakeholders to get it done. And certainly in Ghana, you cannot do it without getting the Ghana Port and Harbour Authority in place. And I'm sure that Sansikes will attest to the fact that the many efforts that we're making to ensure that we have a dedicated berth for the landing of the cruise. Without it, it becomes difficult. And I'm sure that in a country like Ghana, where export and import takes a chunk of it, it's become very difficult to prioritize. But certainly, once we have identified and also developing the framework to promote cruise tourism, certainly they have to come on board, and then we can do that joint collaboration together to ensure that there is a dedicated berth for cruise tourism. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult. Of course, other countries are also positioning themselves through some of our pristine attractions and then other resources that we have developed to ourselves. Certainly, it positions us, but we need to make conscious effort to bring this into work. And then, of course, it means that we have to work closely with the Ghana Maritime Authority, work closely with Ghana Port and Harbour Authority, and then, of course, the tow operators. Because now, as Kwame said, the ground has been watered for us to leverage on that. And certainly, the Ghana Port and Harbour has to come on board so that they can set the necessary infrastructure for us to market the destination.
Great. Awesome. Let me come to you from Omar, Richmond, and find out from you, what are some of the challenges you encounter? Is it the same, or you have a different set of challenges that you encounter in your quest to, handle these cruise ships?
It was interesting to hear from Kwame making some vital and salient points about the challenges, even to our area where he talked about the berth. Our ports are generally they're commercial ports. So they are cargo driven.
Absolutely.
So in that perspective, there is competition for berth, as we were saying, because perhaps the master plan didn't capture, the direction of the cruise aspect. So all these things comes in to affect activities. So the issue of competition for berth is really high. He talked about perhaps a vessel calling at the port at 0600 hours. Perhaps there is another vessel being a clinker or whatever. When are they going to clean up and all that? And there could be times where you have a cruise vessel at one berth, a clinker at the opposite. So imagine even the environmental impact, the dust to these tourists. They need a relaxed atmosphere. Generally, the ideal of a cruise terminal is a cruise terminal should have a berth, either one or two, with the good length overall for the vessel and then a good draft. Then you have this, let's say, an arrival or a welcome hall, where the passengers are welcome, their luggages are processed. Those who have finished a turnaround. So when we talk about turnaround, passengers who have finished their tour and then disembark. Then we have new passengers embarking. That is a turnaround. Then transit, a vessel visiting the port, passengers get out, maybe go to the tour side, the city centers, and then they sail. So you could see that the turnaround is where we could capture more economic benefits of it. So it really feeds into that aspect. So that's how an ideal terminal is. So the terminal having even offices for the government agencies, customs, immigration, port security,
port health,
and every port health as well. So all the stakeholders who play a vital role in ensuring that the cruise industry strive will be situated within that position. To add to that, sometimes it's difficult for our local authority to understand that you cannot treat a cruise ship like a cargo ship. This is because cruise ships, they are time-bound. And they are on a straight itinerary.
Exactly, because each and every tourist or passenger,
every ship is time is of the essence.
Absolutely.
But cruise ships, they are exceptional. And there is high standard of demands. So in that direction, the ripple effect, if there is any delay in the arrival processes for formalities.
Yes.
The impact is that the passengers are going to be hurried to the to the tour sites.
Right.
They wouldn't spend time to enjoy. They will not even spend. And you and I know the impact of when the tourists, they enjoy the environment, our hotels, they go to the tour site, they buy the artifact. It's about experience.
Yes.
Cruise is enjoyable. It's about experience, the memories that you're going to make. Because people pay good money,
absolutely,
from wherever to come enjoy your destination.
That experience,
And a lot of effort goes into selling Ghana as a destination by these cruise liners. So these are some of the challenges that we encounter. Again, let's look at this scenario.
Yes.
A vessel arrives in Tema and then proceeds to Takoradi. Now, on arrival in Takoradi, formalities are repeated.
Right.
I never understand that.
And sometimes it's on a snail pace. Okay? But we're hoping that this single window platform would be able to, close that gap. So that when the vessel, sets sail from Tema, going to Takoradi, communication has gone on. We don't need so much processes. Yes, they need to comply to international and local regulation, but we need to understand. That's what I was saying. They need to understand the schedule, the cycle.
Agency,
okay, and the overall objective is that these passengers want to enjoy our environment. They need to spend. They need to go to the tour site. They need to really have a feel of Ghana, and they want to come back.
Yes.
Because someone would decide that I've always been traveling to Ghana by flight. This time I want to try the cruise.
Absolutely.
So there should be a good reason for me to spend that good of money. And when I come, I shouldn't have so much issues, bureaucracy levels and all that. That goes into it. As Kwame was saying, that it's all about experience. And Omar has been instrumental when it comes to last year, this year's maiden and historic call at Elmina.
Right.
We're very instrumental in that. And on this point, we want to appreciate the efforts of Mr. Peter Amubediaku, the director of Port of Takoradi. He embraced this challenge and ensuring that this maiden port call, materialize. And every other stakeholder that were involved, the meetings, the back and forth, trying to iron out all issues. He really played a instrumental role. And we see the joy that it's sprung over the whole country. Let's look at the economic benefits. Elmina. The interesting thing is that original itinerary was 2 days, like Kwame was saying, 48 hours. But they ended up spending like 42 hours. That is 3 days in all. Right. So they look at the proximity. So Elmina kept coast. The proximity to the tour site. The passengers, they get to go there. They are relaxed. There is no rush. You are not watching your time when you're on the canopy walk. You are not rushing when you are enjoying the tour guide at the Elmina Castle or Cape Coast Castle. They really get into it. So you see that time is of the essence. We create an atmosphere for them as well, so they can really enjoy all of it. So Omar, we are well positioned to make our customers understand that, yes, there is challenge within our environment, but because we understand your need, our operational and experience position us to give you the best of experience that your vessels will need within our port. So despite these challenges, we are so striving. As my boss here said, Takoradi is well positioned. Takoradi is doing well. And for me, I'm looking at that port as Takoradi and then Elmina being our future destination for in a cruise terminal, because proximity to the tour site is key. And when you look at these two areas, it plays a vital role. And to add to it, we want to see more of the synergy that all stakeholders bring on board. So talking about the Elmina call like this, is the maiden. It has never happened before. How is this going to happen? But the interesting thing is that the cruise company had such experience in Indonesia, where they used their Zodiac boats, convey the passengers right from the ship onto shore. And that's the same thing happened in Elmina. So the vessel came close to the the Elmina fishing harbour, drop anchor. Then we have the boats conveying these passengers right from the ship to
sort of like feeder vessels.
A feeder vessel, a feeder kind of thing. So Elmina is well positioned for us to really thrive. And so we want to see more of this synergy. And because of that successful and then the historic port call, so we are positive next year we're going to have that call again. And the interesting is the vessel, SH Vega, was the first vessel to call Tema after that's post-COVID.
Right.
That was the first vessel that called. And look at how we've been able to meet the gap of even calling Elmina.
Yeah.
So the potential is there.
Absolutely.
We need so much synergy.
Right.
Leadership is cause. Everything else is effect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay, so let me come to Mr. Jebu.
Yes, sir.
Imagine that we had everything right in place and everything was okay, infrastructure, like everything that you need to make a cruise vessel and the passengers comfortable. Would we say we would have the requisite demand? Are we going to operate at full capacity, at full, all?
Well, yeah, I think we
In essence, do we have the demand for our part of the world?
So in this business, and Kwame can tell you, I'll tell you something. When we are the cruise trade, one of the issues, one of the CEOs of the company says that the shipbuilders cannot keep up with the demand to build new ships.
Yes.
Do you understand? Now that means the demand is there. Now, when people are always looking for different destinations. I mean, if you've done Europe 3 times, and next year you go do Mediterranean, the next time you go and do the Alaskas. Obviously, you should be coming to Africa.
Yeah.
Right? Because you've done all of this 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah.
Some people cruise every year. Okay, so if there is as long as they're building the ships, people are lining up to go on cruises, they will come here. So if we do have the infrastructure, we do have the basics, and at this point, I'm not even asking for like we are not even asking for like the full beautiful terminal. Get the shed. Exactly. Get the shed. Get some. Let me sure it's airy. Yeah. Put some potty toilets here, there. Yeah. Start.
Yeah.
With that one, we don't have to. If we need to do some kind of build, operate, and transfer kind of arrangement with some private people, that is the beginning.
Right.
Okay, then you will see the potential, because when you get up and you come there and you see that this year our port calls have increased from 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Because the cruise operators, the port, like I was telling you offline, every cruise line, they have a department called port operations people.
Yes.
Their job is to go look out the destinations, the port to see, they tick the box.
Yes.
They have a long checklist, they tick. So they'll come back and say, okay, now let's bring this bigger ship here because at least they have a shed.
Yes.
So you see that your port call will increase from 4, 6, gradually to 8.
Yeah.
And that's how it starts. So if we do have the at least the minimum, I don't think demand is going to be an issue. As long as the rest of the things are playing, of course, there's political stability. We can go to the attraction sites without too much traffic.
Yeah.
Those things all will come play. But but what we want to avoid is that we are working on getting these ones done.
Yeah.
But this one, nothing. We are stalling here.
Yeah.
That is, then we are not putting everybody together. We need to come together and say, okay, this year or 10 years from now, we want to increase our cruise stories from 15,000 to 50,000.
Right.
How do we do it?
Right.
And then everybody comes together and then we tax people and then we say, okay, this is what we need to do. This is what this agency needs to do. This is what this agency needs to do. Like he's saying to you, when somebody understands that a ship left Tema, they shouldn't do the same process when it gets to Takoradi.
Yeah.
But those are the people who come together and understand the goal here. Because they've already they bought into the goal, so they understand that we are moving away from just our regular checking for clinker ships to human beings. You understand?
Absolutely.
And who are time bound and all of that. But then if we bring it all together and then we can do this part from here, this part will be done. It will all come together. And like little chips, they come together.
Yeah.
But every part of it must be built.
Yeah.
We cannot build one and keep building one whilst we are retrogressing the other side.
Right.
we'll come back to square one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me come to Mr. Ansong and find out from you what innovations we need to employ to enhance the cruise experience in our country, apart from the challenges that you have enumerated earlier.
Okay, so basically, West Africa as a destination is a cultural, historical, people destination, cuisine destination. So I believe that most of these passengers, they might not come to West Africa for the very first time as their first cruise.
Right.
They would have been to maybe East Africa, they would have been to Southern Africa. So we need to come up with unique products, unique shore excursions that will attract them, highlighting our culture, our way of life, even things as simple as how we go about our fishing and our processing of our food and that sort of thing are all of interest to them. If we come up with this together with very basic things like improving on the quality of service through our frontline personnel, be it the bus drivers who work with, the tour guides, the restaurants and hotels and the like. What happens is that, and other stakeholders, what happens is that it all improves the quality of the whole experience.
Right.
It's all about experiences. And most people who go on these cruises that come our way are seasoned travelers.
Right.
They've experienced, maybe they started with shorter cruises in maybe the Caribbean, went to North Africa, going to Europe, and now they want to go into the unknown.
Yeah.
Pardon me to say that, but that's how we are at the moment for the cruise industry. So we have to let them know that what you could experience in maybe Tahiti and the Polynesian countries and the Caribbeans, you can experience it here.
Yeah.
And it's all about service. Well, the SLAs that we get signed on to, I'm sure Mauli will tell you, we have very strict SLAs.
Thick like
so we
when you say SLA, what does that mean?
Service level agreements.
If you're cruise liners, you need to meet certain standards. So you do a whole lot of things.
Apart from the insurances we have to undertake and the like, we have very strict service level agreements. You know, so if at the last minute something goes wrong, it's got financial implications not only for loss of revenue to the state and the port, but also to
the companies.
The company, and you could be sued. So we work with the stakeholders, whether it's the communities we visit, let them understand what is at stake. The buses, this is not a normal running transport up and down. This is different. Most of the people who go on these cruises are maybe in their 70s and 60s, semi-retired. For someone to go away for 21, 28 days, the person must be semi-retired or retired. They have a lot of issues, health issues. You have to be careful and be able to know even what kind of where do they get off the buses to the landing area? Are people going to have sprains and falls and the like? You have to make sure. Yes, so it's all it's the whole gamut that you have to consider. So it's a team effort.
Right.
So we are working to improve it, yes, and we're working very closely with our key stakeholders, and we believe that a key stakeholder who've done well so far but need to move to the next level is GPHA.
Right.
And we want you to come along with us because we even some villages that never knew how to even cut short because cruise ships are time bound. If you're going for 30 minutes, can you imagine a chief being able to just interact for 30 minutes? Usually it takes about 2.5, 3 hours. They come to understand that this is the name of the game. These guys are not here for the whole day. They are not your indigents who come and spend the night. They have to go. So it's a team effort, and I think we're getting there. But it's like you all can tell, we're just starting out.
Yes.
You have ships that are positioned in Southern Africa all year round, and I don't see why not eventually in Ghana with the 4 destinations we're going to have here. And there are even some that do up just up the Gambia River and back from Senegal, Banjul, up the Gambia River and back. I mean, that's
7 days. They just do that.
There's so much we can do.
Right.
There's so much we can do, and it's all about coming together as a country or as key stakeholders to collaborate and make this happen. Yeah.
Right. All right, so this is Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television, and tonight we are taking a look at the prospects for cruise industry in our country, Ghana, and the role that the ports can play to promote this particular sector. With us in the studios tonight, we have Mr. Eko Sampson, Deputy Chief Executive, Operations Ghana Tourism Authority, indeed Mr. Richmond Kweku Mfojo. He is with the Operations Unit of OMA Group, is a ship agency. We also have in the studios Mr. Mauli Jebu, Chief Executive of Salantos Ghana Limited, and indeed Mr. Kwame Ansong, the one you just heard, a while ago. He's a Chief Executive of Sunseekers Tour Company. These are the four gentlemen we're having a discussion with. Indeed, I think we are gender biased today. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP, available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefeel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Oga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243 690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
You're welcome back. Like I said, we have in the studios tonight Mr. Eko Samson, Deputy Chief Executive Officer in charge of operations at the Ghana Tourism Authority. Mr. Richmond Kweku Mfojo, he's an operations executive at Uma Group, shipping agency here in Ghana. Mr. Mauli Jebo, who is he's with the Chief Executive Officer of Land Tours Ghana, and indeed Mr. Kwame Ansong, Chief Executive Officer Sanseekers Tour Company. They are all into the tourism industry, and tonight we are taking a look at the cruise tourism sector and what role the ports can play to ensure that we promote this particular sector. I will come to you, Mr. Samson, and find out from you if there are any specific strategies that the GTA the Ghana Tourism Authority has put in place, to ensure that the industry aligns with Ghana's long-term goals as far as tourism is concerned. I've had the privilege of watching your boss, Mr. Kwesi Agyeman, on CNN, where he says Ghana is like a buffet. You take what you want. You have everything is here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's true. I mean, Ghana has everything when it comes to tourism. I mean, now we are here talking about cruise tourism. It's not all countries that have that privilege.
Right.
And we have everything in terms of mines, in terms of the natural, whatever. But as has been alluded to by these two gentlemen, they are making effort. And cruise tourism presents another good opportunity for us to diversify. And it's something that we also prioritize. That means that we need to inculcate it into our strategic plan, which is already in place. Doing this means that getting all the stakeholders involved in the discussion.
Yes.
So you cannot just sit at your corner and then plan something for the industry without involving, for instance, key stakeholders like Ghana Port and Harbour Authority, Ghana Maritime Authority, the tour operators, even the various attraction side, Ghana Migration Service, and all those others. They are very key, and these are strategic partners that we are working with to draw. So we are in the at the point of developing the strategic plan to roll on with targeted numbers.
Right.
Okay. As a movement, as I said, last year we started 9,000 plus.
Right.
Which is growing. And this year we are expecting about 14,000, and we are projecting to get about 50,000 maybe the next 2 years. Certainly, that means that we have to put the necessary infrastructure. We need to train the whole bodies that are involved in the value chain. It's a very long value chain. We are dealing with the port, but of course, tourism is an experience.
Absolutely.
So you cannot leave out even the tour guide. You cannot leave out the taxi drivers. You cannot leave out the various attraction sites. Because once they come in, as we've just noticed, it's a time-bound experience. So then if he goes to a tourist site and have a bad experience, it actually spoils everything.
If it sits in somebody's Uber or taxi and has a bad
all
experience,
the value chain has to be well-trained for them to know what it is, And, if you look at the numbers, and, I mean, for the past years, cruise tourism has contributed about 150 billion to the global economy. And, statistics shows that it's generated about 1.2 million jobs. And Ghana, if you look at it, even the two major cities, it can contribute more than 2,000 jobs within the value chain. And that means that we need to be very intentional to develop it. And of course, we are putting the necessary framework to develop the cruise tourism with our partners.
Right. Let me come to you, Mr. Richmond, Mr. Mfojo, and find out from you, apart from the issues of infrastructure and others that you enumerated earlier on, what kind of investments do you think that we can put in place to drive growth in this particular industry?
Well, let's look at our coastline, right from the Volta region to the Western, and ask ourselves: do we have stop points?
Right.
Do we have active fishing harbors like what is springing up now? So it tells us that the opportunities are there.
Absolutely.
So identify these areas is key. We know Keita Port is in the pipeline. We are all expecting that it should materialize in no time. So what we can do as a country, as I indicated earlier, synergy is really needed among all stakeholders. every party, every stakeholder is important. Let's get to work. Let's move from the plans being on paper to action.
Yes.
That is what we really need as a country. Bring the people that are really ready to work, people that are ready to take up the bold decision. As I rightly said, Takoradi is trying to position itself well.
Yeah.
I was trying to look at port calls in 2023 and 2024.
Yeah.
2023, Tema did 3, Takoradi 7.
Right.
2024 so far, Tema 3, Takoradi 9.
9.
So look at the way the train is going. We see that Takoradi is positioning itself well. Tema now, because of the cargo-driven nature, and perhaps the master plan is all about that. So you see that that space is not really there, but the potential is there for Takoradi, Elmina. What can we do within Cape Coast? What can we do when we come to the voter side? So it's identifying these areas, we explore them. And that's what gave us the opportunity as an agency who is efficient and then proactive. You know, one of the things we identified and then sold out to the cruise line was the Elmina case. So the crews get to Takoradi, the passengers get them from the vessel, then board bars go to the castles and all, and then gets on board. Now, that is a bit of stress, although the distance may not be that much. But then moving all the way from Tema to Elmina, look at the experience, the joy, the excitement. Even for the fact that they are using their Zodiac boat to move from the vessel to, it's also another experience. So it's more of a commitment towards exploring. We have to do research. As Kwame said, the Suez Canal is blocked. That is a huge advantage. What it means is that vessels, cruise liners, and even other type of vessels, they are forced to use the Cape of Good Hope. That is the southern part of Africa. They are forced because once you close the Suez Canal, one of the busiest and the crucial trade routes in the shipping industry, you are bound to use the Cape of Good Hope, the southern part, then come up towards the Atlantic Ocean where we are. So the opportunity is there. And you know, shipping is international, it's connected. So an event one at a place benefits another. That's the interesting and the dynamics of shipping. Exactly. So thankfully, piracy activities is down when it comes to that aspect. The U.S. Coast Guard doing so much more with that. So the piracy activity are not on high. When it comes to the Gulf of Guinea, there's a collaboration among the Bureau of Maritime Investigations. You know, the Navy, they're all patrolling. They're doing a good work within our region. So
Let's make the water safe.
Exactly. The robberies and the piracy, we haven't seen significant, events or incidents coming up
in recent times.
So once we put these security checks also in place, they are relaxed because security is key when it comes to all this. Security risks, they are all involved. So a cruise operator wouldn't want to use your waters and security issues will spring up. So the potential is there, and like I said, leadership is cost. So once leadership is going to drive, get stakeholders on board. We are all ready to join. And what we see happen in Elmina should replicate even in, Jamestown Fishing Harbour, which is our new facility. What can we also do there? We've done something in Elmina. We have Jamestown Fishing Harbour. Then what can we also do there? So once we embrace that challenge, like I said, the director of Port of Takoradi, he embraced the challenge. It's never happened before, but let's get it done. We can do it. And the interesting thing is that the cruise liner operators, they come down to do visibility study for themselves. They do first check. So when you're talking about, especially when it's a maiden voyage, they will visit the port, speak to the tour companies that are going to engage. They speak to the tourism authority. Every stakeholder that is involved to ensure that the voyage is a good experience for their passengers is paramount to them. Because a lot goes into the marketing. They need to convince a passenger why you have to come to Ghana as a destination and the experience that they are going to have. So all these are multifaceted activities, arrangement, coordination, cooperation that stakeholders need to embrace so that we could explore. So the options are available to us. Some may come with challenges, but we are in what they call a growing generation now.
Yeah.
So how can we even employ IT?
Yeah.
What they call AI? Sorry,
Yeah.
AI in our sector. How are we going to even solve our own problem that is unique to us? So that is where we need to embrace. If AI is going to solve a lot of is solving domestic and household problems, and even come to the corporate side, how can we also embrace AI even into shipping, which is already ongoing? If you care to know, there are autonomous ships now, and that's even a threat to my job because I need vessels to come to my port. Run by AI. You have few seamen on board that will come to your port. So what's the point of an agency now? And as Kwame said, infrastructure is key. They need to position themselves. So the opportunity is there for us. Events happening, exploring, research, a lot of effective collaboration. But for our environment and our nation as a whole, we need a lot of synergy, a lot of collective collaboration among every stakeholder to really capitalize on this industry and the economic impact on our GDP as well.
Right. I'm told we've run out of time, but we'll do one or two messages. And with respect to AI, I think recently I saw a video, and in Dubai, there was this truck by cyber truck, kind of police. It was moving, AI moving it. They passed by a vehicle moving, and they stopped and warned the guy to put on his seatbelt. And then according to the guy, the following day, they brought him a receipt. He had to pay.
Exactly.
And so I was wondering, so the policemen in Dubai, they will start losing their jobs. So. And again, we have about, with respect to the fishing harbors, I think government is working on some 12 fishing harbors and landing sites across coastal Ghana. And so most of them are at various stages of completion. And I'm sure pretty shortly some of them will also be commissioned, and then we'll see what to do with them in terms of promoting the cruise tourism sector. Hello, my name is Roland. Your guest hit the hammer right on the nail. Ghana is blessed with a lot of cool tourist spots along the coast, and a dedicated cruise terminal will open a window to many possibilities for Ghana to claim a stake in the cruise sector. And this one says, hi, I am Paul. I'm watching you from YouTube. Thank you for giving us this conversation. It is long overdue. I'm looking forward to Ghana becoming a major cruise destination. We are the gateway to Africa. Well, there are a host of others which we cannot take because we have been told our time is up. We have to wrap up. We want to thank you so much for being our guest tonight. Let me say big thanks to Mr. Eko Samson, Deputy Chief Executive in charge of operations at the Ghana Tourism Authority, for being gracious enough to indulge us and to oblige us. Also to Mr. Richmond Kweku Mfojo, Operations Executive, UMA Group, a shipping agency here in Ghana. We are grateful to you, sir, for coming. And to Mr. Mauli Jebu, Chief Executive of Salantours Ghana, we are grateful to you, sir. And indeed, Mr. Kwame Ansong, Chief Executive of Sansikes Tour Company. I think that we have to do this again because time flies when you're in the company of good people. Say big thanks to our sponsors: Ghana Revenue Authority, Goil PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. Remember, the show is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. We entreat you to keep watching the rest of our programs here, and the abridged version of Iron Port will be aired on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television. My name is Kennedy Mona. We thank you so much. God willing, next week we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of your favorite Iron Port program. Please, the rest of our programs here and have a wonderful week ahead.